did pass the Build Back Better bill. We all know that there are a couple of good caveats in there. The most important one probably being universal pre-K. It's not earth-shattering, but it is important. But we cannot ignore the fact that the SALT tax is probably one of the biggest sticking points. It is a massive tax cut for the wealthy. I'm from New Jersey. I know Representative Gottheimer and his MO. It goes without saying that the last line of defense for this bill is really Bernie. And, is he going to do anything? Is he going to attempt, to try to mend something with this particular tax? Or is he going to try to compromise and get, let's say vision and dental back into the Medicare expansion component of the bill? Is there anything that you're hearing as far as what might actually happen? Because then we could take it another step further as far as what type of implications that'll have for the midterms.
And all of those things play off of each other in the sense that if he can successfully, the answer is yes. Like he's trying very hard, and we talked about this on Rising this morning. He has, with Brianna, he has given up trying to make the case to his fellow Democrats that this is the wrong thing to do, that it's morally wrong, that it's ethically wrong, that it's bad policy. Like that, he's moved past that. Right now, the argument that he's making to them is that this is idiotic politics. Like as Republicans are starting to cosplay as these working class heroes, you're going to give them all of the argument that they need to successfully and fairly persuade people that at minimum Democrats are just as bad when it comes to being in the pockets of the rich, because you elect Democrats and boom, what do? They give a multi-$100 billion tax break, exclusively to the wealthiest people in the country. And the fact that there are already Republican attack ads out there using this against Democrats is actually really helpful to Bernie because it helps make his pragmatic point. Like, look, you guys might not care about whether or not this is a good thing or whether it's good policy, but it's terrible politics. So what he's saying is it shouldn't hit anybody. It should be basically means tested at at $400,000. Families making $400,000 a year, and so if he can succeed in getting it knocked down to that, I think that's a decent thing to do because it takes this issue off the table. Like you could make a powerful argument that it ought to be much lower than 400,000. But if you let's say put it down at 200,000 and you've got a firefighter and a teacher in New Jersey who also have a little bit of side income who are making 250 or something like that.
Right.
Now Josh Gottheimer has the face of this SALT movement to keep going, to try to completely blow the cap up. So we've seen how that played out with the estate tax, with the richest people on the planet, finding a couple of farmers who said, oh, if this estate tax exists, then my family farm that's been in my family's hands since we wrested it through genocide 200 years ago is going to be broken up, and so you have to get rid of this estate tax. And so if you allow these sympathetic figures to be hit by the policy, then the worst actors are going to use them to blow it up. And so if it's at 400,000, you don't have that situation. So, but let's say Bernie does bring it down to 400,000. Now all of a sudden you've got another $150 billion to spend. And that goes to your other question of priorities, because he's pushing hard. He's got hearing, which apparently is because Sinema believes, and it's true. Sinema has said that hearing loss is connected to dementia among the elderly, and therefore it's important that that Medicaid cover hearing.
Oh, well, as long as she thinks hearing's okay, not dental or vision, mind you. Screw that.
But that's where we are. That's where we are on the whims of this woman from Arizona who just maybe she read an article or something, or maybe somebody old in her family told her about this fact, whatever it is. Like, so she's like, okay, I'm good with that. So you got it. So if they can find a way to get her and Manchin good with the other two, then they would have the money there. And on my podcast, Deconstructed, I interviewed Ari Rabenhoff too. If you haven't had him on here, you should have him on here.
We love Ari. He's a good guy.
And he made what I thought was the best political point, which is that, there are pieces of this because you're saving money on drug costs. What you're doing is Medicare is going to be spending less money. Spending less money also means cutting. And so Republicans are going to attack Democrats for a tax break for millionaires and billionaires that was paid for by cutting Medicare. Like they did this in 2009-10 when they partly paid for Obamacare by cutting provider payments, Medicare provider payments. So to hospitals, doctors, whatever, didn't cut anything that Medicare beneficiaries were involved with. Yet that still allowed Republicans to run this massive campaign saying that Democrats were cutting Medicare. And so if you are also giving people hearing, dental, and vision, then it just cuts the legs out from under that political argument. That you can't go around telling seniors that Democrats cut Medicare while at the same time they're getting stuff in the mail every day about how they've expanded Medicare to now include hearing, dental, and vision. It just doesn't fly because they see that they're being lied to. But if you only do hearing, it doesn't work as well. So it's funny that Bernie has become kind of one of their smarter tactical politicians at this point. Whether they plan to listen to him remains to be seen.
I don't think there's anything at this point that is going to save the Democrats from a complete annihilation.
There's that too. And so some Democrats, I think, are like, well, F it. We're getting wiped out anyway. So
it's going to be ugly.
Let's just make our donors happy.
Well, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Right.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.